training tonight about those voices in your head. And we've got to stop them. We have to stop those voices. So I wrote down what I'm going to say, because if I don't, I'm going to go off and start preaching on some soapbox, and who knows when we'll end or what I'll say. So I wrote down what I need to say. So, but listen, those voices in our head will tear us down. They will destroy us. They will make us incapable of doing anything to help ourselves, our family, our team members, our customers. You can't be listening to the voices. So what do we do when we hold a facial or a party? So one voice tells us we sell makeup and we're just asking people to buy stuff from us. But the other voice says we're teaching women how to take care of themselves. We're making them more confident. They're going to feel better about themselves, and that leads to happier women, which leads to happier families. So if you believe in God, ultimately you could be showing them Him. You know, so what voice would you rather listen to and believe? Which voice makes you feel good about yourself? And so just remember this. The voice you believe will determine the future you experience. The voice you believe will determine the future you experience. So what we're going to teach you tonight is that voice in your head is not good for you, and we need to change it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to recognize it. And then we're going to replace it, and then Jen's going to talk a little more about how we can visually put it in its place and what we can really do. So it's the end of seminar year. This is the time when all of our goals are coming together, are supposed to come together, you know. So this is when your voice is going to be the loudest in your head, when it gets down to that finish line. So, okay, so let's get real. I'm going to just open up and I'll tell you what voices I have in my head, okay? So this voice, we've got to be able to recognize it, and we already know that you're hearing it. But being able to recognize that that is the voice, the chatterbox, whatever you want to call it, the enemy that's in your head, that's a totally different thing. I mean, you hear it, but you've got to be able to say, I know what that is. So I can be sitting on the couch and thinking about, oh, I'm going to make my calls, I'm going to book some parties, this is going to be so much fun. And then the next thing I know, I'm saying, really, am I going to make calls? It sounds so stupid on the phone. I never know what to say. So then I get up and I go do laundry, and I try to distract myself. And hours later, I'll finally realize I'm in a bad mood. I hate my life, you know. It's just awful. And I didn't even realize that that's the path I was going down. I didn't recognize the voice. Because it sounds right to me because I've heard it for so long. And it's not loud. It doesn't say you. It doesn't say Jennifer. I mean, it does say you know, I am. It says I am. I am stupid on all of that. So, I personally, because I'm a Christian, I believe really that it's the devil's minions trying to bring me down. Because he doesn't want me to succeed. He doesn't want me to be out there. He doesn't want me to be changing lives. So I'm going to tell you, Charles Spurgeon, he's a great Christian preacher. He was a long time ago. A lot of the stuff I can't really understand what he's saying because he's in old English. And I'm from Pikeville. But he says, beware of no man more than yourself. We carry our worst enemy within us. Okay? So, say you're not a Christian, and you're like, I don't listen to preachers because they're crazy. Another philosopher, Jay-Z, he says, I'm losing myself. I'm stuck in the moment. I look in the mirror, my only opponent. So, we know that Charles Spurgeon is over here and Jay-Z is over here. They're not on the same spectrum. So that's telling you everybody's hearing the same thing you're hearing. It's common to all of us. So don't think you're the only one, because the voice is going to want to single you out and pull you down. You're the only one hearing these voices. You're the only one that's stupid. You're the only one that's doing wrong. And that's not true. Everybody's hearing this stuff. So you have to shut this voice down. When it's getting closer to the end of the seminar, when it's getting closer to the end of the month, and all of this, you have to shut it down. So once you can recognize the voice that's in your head, you've got to do something about it. So we're going to show you a couple of ways. What I do to replace it when I don't want to hear it, what I do is I replace it. Let me get my tongue untwisted. What I do is I replace it. When I don't want to hear it anymore, I replace it with something else. I have to. So here's what I do. We want you, listen to this, we want you to succeed and be fully successful in Mary Kay beyond your wildest dreams. But what we also want you to be is better people in the end of it. You know, we want you to be stronger and more confident, and we want you to be better people out of this, you know. So, here are some ways I tried to replace it. Before Mary Kay, some of y'all probably don't know, but we've been waiting almost 4.5 years for an adoption. And we tried to have children probably 3 or 4 years before that. So we've been dealing with infertility 7 or 8 years, you know, and I can't tell you how many nights I've laid in bed and heard the voice say, "You'll never be a mom." It's okay, you wouldn't have been a good mom anyway. You're going to lose all your friends, and you're not going to have any friends because they're all going to have kids, and they're going to leave you when they have kids. Because nobody can hang out when you have kids. I mean, you know that. Nobody hangs out anymore when you don't have kids and they have them. You don't understand. So I can't tell you how many nights I've cried myself to sleep because of that voice in my head. So I just got fed up with it. And I tell you, it's a long story, but God really showed me a verse. And I had to say this verse over and over and over again in my head while I lay there to go to sleep at night until it replaced that other voice. So I would go to sleep quoting, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart, wait for the Lord." Psalms 27:14, and I would just say it over and over and over again. Now that I'm in Mary Kay, I hear, "You won't be a star. You'll never earn your car. Directorship's good for other people, but, you know, you're not going to get it." So I replaced that too. So, if y'all watch Charlie Brown or read Charlie Brown a lot, you know, Lucy says, "You see these 5 fingers? Individually, they're nothing. But together, they're a weapon terrible to behold." So here's what I say. God is who He says He is. He will do what He says He will do. I am who God says I am. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And God's word is alive and active in me. I have to say it over and over and over again. I say it when I'm in yoga because you're supposed to be quiet and shut all that stuff outside. But you know, you're laying there in yoga and you're going, "I should be making calls. Is this really worth it? I need to be going to the grocery store." And I have to start repeating this stuff in my head. You have to replace it. You have to replace it. I know that Whitney, Tara, and Julie have told us over and over again that the battle is right here. It is so true. And sometimes you just need to hear it from somebody else. You know, sometimes you need to hear it from somebody else. But replace that voice with something else. Replace it. So, what I want you to do is take some time tonight, sometime soon, and I want you to think about what would happen if you let that voice win. What happens if that voice wins in your head and you start to believe what that voice is telling? Why would you even want to let it win? Why would you want to let it win? Why would you want something to win that's going to tear you down? Don't let it win. You are all awesome and beautiful and strong, and you are who God says you are, and you need to be everything that God wants you to be. That's what you need to do, and you need to. And I'm telling you, Mary Kay is so much more than makeup. Like, I feel like I'm up here preaching and you're like, what does this have to do with Mary Kay? But I'm telling you, Mary Kay is a vehicle to do what you need to do with other women and for yourself and for your family and for your kids. So use it. So if I let that voice win, this is what happens in my life. I won't be able to help pay for our adoption. We'll have to go into more debt. My husband will have to stay in a job that he hates. He's trying to get out into mission work, so I have to stay at that job longer and not be able to be a missionary. Fewer kids are going to hear him speak. I won't meet women who need to hear my story and need to hear what I have to say. They won't have the opportunity to change other women's lives and let other women hear their story, because we all have a story that's important for somebody else to hear. Somebody's always going to need to hear your story. So why would I let that voice win when all of these things are going to happen? And none of them are good. None of them are good. So we have to shut it down, and we have to be who God made us to be. So that's my preaching. I hope God didn't bore you guys, but replacing it is only one way. Okay, so you've got to think of something, whether it's the Woman of Excellence one that we have here in the evening, whether it's a favorite verse that you have of yours, whether it's just something you make up, you have to replace that voice, because it will kill you. Not literally.